So the programming side of our enemy AI is almost completely done. We have just a couple things we'll have to go back and add, but for a second, we're going to move outside of that and do some UI work, as well as assign a couple values that need to be assigned. So the first thing we need to do is in our NPC component on our enemies, you remember we have this destinations field we added. This is meant to hold the destinations game object that we created earlier on. So what we're going to do on each of these is drag that destinations game object into that field called dest. And again, you can do this one at a time for each enemy, or you can select all three at the same time and drag that in. But if you have to go one at a time, that's totally okay. Next, what we need to do is go into one of our enemies, and in this canvas object, you see that holds this text variable or this text item. This text is great for telling us our enemy's current HP, but it's not quite enough. We want to add a little bit more, something that we see commonly in most games, because numbers usually doesn't tell the whole story. So what we want to add is a slider. So what we're going to do is say, and under the canvas, we're going to right-click, click UI, and click slider. And you'll see this slider will appear in the middle of the guy's belly. What we want to do is use our movement gizmo, which again, if you don't see, you just click it and in the scene view, tap W, and that'll bring up this guy. And what we're going to do is drag that up right under our little health variable here. No, excuse me. I'm sorry, our little test, or our little health text here. And what we need to do then is say we need to edit this so it looks a little bit more like a health bar. Because at the moment, it's more of just, it's a slider. So what we'll do is we'll go to this handle object here at the bottom. Under slider, you'll expand it. And then you'll expand handle slide area. And then in handle. And we're just going to turn off this knob. We don't want the knob. It looks a little weird. Next, what we want to do in our background is set this to red. So that's going to tell us that much HP is missing. And then in our fill area here, you're going to expand that and select fill, and you're going to set that to green. That's going to give us an idea of how much health they have out of their total health here. Finally, what you want to do is set in the slider component of the slider game object, you want to go ahead and set that max value to 100 or whatever you happen to have set the enemy's health to. This is important because we're going to assign our health directly to our slider, and we want the value to represent the total amount of health that our enemy has. So we got to remember to set this max value to our enemy's health. Once you've done that, all we have to do is copy this game object with Control-C, and then on each of our other enemies' canvases here, we're just going to paste that in. And you can drop it right in like that. And sometimes it might not align properly. So like we did before, you can go to your position X, Y, and Z values on the slider game object in the rect transform and hit 0, 0, 0. And then if you want to snap back to your slider, you can select it and hit F, and that'll bring you right to it. And then like we did for our skeleton, we'll drag that guy up. And you will continue to do this for all of your remaining enemies. So you say, put it there, hit paste, there we go. And hit 0, 0, 0, and drag it up into here. You may have noticed I got an error there. All of our enemies are stored as prefabs. If you try to drag slider above text but below canvas, it won't like that because that will be editing the prefab instance. So what we want to do is instead drag it underneath text but still under our canvas. It can be a little tricky to do, but just if you see there's that little blue line that pops up, that's what you're looking for. And this last time, we'll do it one more time. We'll put it in and we'll hit paste. And again, we'll go to our position here, set those all to zeros, and drag it up into here. And I'm not sure why the scale on that one got messed up. I'm actually going to redo that. Sometimes if things get messed up and you're not sure why, it's easier to just delete it and try again. So I just deleted that one. I'm going to copy my slider, paste it over, drag it underneath text. There we go, just like that. So it pops in, so it's in line with the text object there. And again, we do 0, 0, 0. And we slide that up right underneath the health text. And now we've got these nice health bars that all of our enemies will use to show our health. Or show their health, I should say.